Today we are going to compare Real Broker with Keller Williams. When I first got my real estate license, I read the book $1 Million Real Estate Agent by Gary Keller, who owns Keller Williams. And to be completely honest, I don't know if my real estate career would have ended up working out if I didn't read that book, because it really drilled this mindset into my brain about how real estate works. One of the things he talks about in this book is that as a real estate agent, our number one job is to get leads, like to generate leads, prospect, consistently bring leads into the business. That is the number one job. And then the job after that is to actually sell houses. So while Keller Williams has some really great things going for them, Real Broker does as well. They're two really great brokerages, and if you're considering switching brokerages, or if you're just curious, you're going to want to listen until the very end, because today we're going to be really dissecting the two. Before we get into it, I am with Real Broker, so of course there might be a little bit of natural bias coming out in this video, but I'll do my best to keep it somewhat neutral. If you are considering switching to Real Broker, or you want more information on it, I have an entire playlist sharing all about Real Broker, everything you need to know, that I will link below. Also, I do Zoom calls and phone calls often with agents who are thinking about switching brokerages and want to know a little bit more about Real, have some questions answered, and just see if it might be a good fit for them or not. If you want to set up a Zoom call with me, shoot me an email. My email's in the description as well. I would love to chat with you also. The first difference is that Keller Williams is old school, aka Keller Williams is brick and mortar. The internet changed just about everything, except for real estate brokerages. Now, up until this point, let's just sit here and think. Blockbuster is out of business because of it. Well, it was Redbox, and now Netflix, Amazon, and Instacart instead of actually going to the grocery stores. And it only makes sense that real estate is going to, and actually, I think that it actually already has and is following suit. Basically, to sum it up, I talk to agents all the time, like I said earlier, who are thinking about joining Real. We do Zoom calls and all of that, and I love it. It's so much fun. However, because I talk to so many agents who are coming from so many different style brokerages, from large brick and mortar brokerages to more like small, tiny, family-owned boutique brokerages, and all I am hearing is things have really changed. Brick and mortar brokerages, the ones that are still in business, first of all, many of them are going in out of business, or they are massively downsizing because they cannot afford to have the employees they used to have and keep their lights on, because they just can't afford to compete with a cloud-based brokerage. They're telling me that these brick and mortar brokerages are not what they used to be. Like, things used to be like poppin', people were in the office. Now it is like lights off in the office during the day, nobody's working from there. Like, it is not the same. So that is the first difference, is Keller Williams, it is that old school brick and mortar style, which you might like. And Real Broker is a cloud-based brokerage. Here's the second difference between Real Broker and Keller Williams: real estate training. I believe that Keller Williams is somewhat known for their real estate training. They have really great real estate training. It's something that they have, I don't know what the plan, they have some plan, like boot camp or something, like 30 days, 90 days, something like that, that their agents can go through. And I've actually gone to Keller Williams, like real estate specific training conferences that are like Keller Williams specific. I've never been with Keller Williams, but I've gone to their training in the past just because I really enjoy real estate training. And here's the thing, Keller Williams does have really good training. They're going to train you most likely on things like door knocking, cold calling for sell by owners, past clients, sphere of influence, like doing the pie thing, like where you give everyone a pie at Thanksgiving. Like, their past client and sphere of influence, like pop buy gifts, like they're definitely gonna lean more old school in their training. That's what brick and mortar brokerages just do. Now, they might be just starting to share more like social media marketing, video marketing. They're not going to have the level of training as far as like video marketing, social media marketing goes. You will get on those things at Real Broker. So at a brick and mortar brokerage like Keller Williams, you are going to get in-person training. Okay, so when you want to listen to the training, you got to drive to the office. You got to leave your kids. You got to take your time in the car. You got to go in person, which of course that has its benefits, but it's not always the most convenient. But also, it is very difficult for brick and mortar style brokerages to get solid trainers, like solid people who actually want to come and train their real estate agents. Why would like another top producer come and teach at Keller Williams or like any other real estate brokerage that's a big brick and mortar brokerage? Why would they take the time out of their day to share with their competitors what they're doing to get business? Like, it just doesn't make sense. I know from my experience at a brick and mortar brokerage, whenever we had training, it was literally like a guy with gray hair coming from maybe a couple hours away that they somehow got to come to this real estate brokerage, and it was all like pretty outdated training. Okay, at Real Broker, the bias is coming out, guys. I know if you're watching this, you're like, this girl's just trying to convince me to come to Real. Like, I'm not. Stay at your brokerage, go to Keller Williams. I'm just telling you like how I really feel. At Real Broker, the way the training works is they have an incentive for agents who are the top producing agents at our company, agents who are making potentially a lot of millions of dollars a year in real estate, to teach other agents in other markets, I mean every agent at Real all over the US and Canada, about what's working for them. They have an incentive. Basically, agents that are top producers, you reach a certain level, it's called an elite agent at Real Broker. You have the option at that point to teach classes, teach these masterminds at Real Broker in exchange for a very generous amount of free Real Broker stock, which is, by the way, doing extremely well. And I think everyone should invest in Real Broker stock, even if you're not with Real Broker. As I was saying, Real Broker has an incentive to give their top producing agents, making many of them millions of dollars a year in real estate, teaching, they give them free stock in exchange for teaching the agents at their brokerage exactly what's working for them to get clients. Meaning, you are going to have access to masterminds. You can join live, ask questions, contribute to the conversation, or you can listen back later. These masterminds are going on every day of the week. There's about 5 different ones a weekday. That is a lot of masterminds you have the opportunity to join all throughout the week. So I would say the training is like top notch at Real Broker. Totally different than a brick and mortar style brokerage. That's what you can, if you really want to just go to the office and be there in person, and you'll want someone with gray hair to teach you an old school method, like then maybe a brick and mortar brokerage is for you. But if you want to take advantage of these new school ways of getting business, like video marketing, social media marketing, and I mean there are trainings on other things, open houses, new construction, even like investing in real estate yourself. There's so many different masterminds. But if you want to take advantage of those style masterminds, and you want to be able to tune in from the comfort of your own home or your car in between appointments, like you don't have to take the time out of your day to like sit in the class, you know what I'm saying? Like it's totally different. The next difference between Keller Williams and Real Broker is Keller Williams, you will have a physical office. Okay, so the way that it's probably going to work, every franchise is going to operate quite differently. But most likely what will happen is when you're a brand new agent, you're going to be in this like fishbowl area in your own little cubicle. So you'll have a little cubicle next to other agents in their cubicles. Once you become a top producer, this is how it was at my old brick and mortar brokerage. Once my husband and I became a top producer, we then got our own private office room. This little room, we got a door we could shut when we make our cold calls. It was really, really awesome. However, even though we earned that office being top producers, we still had some hefty fees to pay every single month for that office, whether we used it or not. And honestly, I used it a ton at first. I loved it. But once I became a mom, it was so not convenient for the way I run my business now to use that office, okay? Like I run my business and I do my business things in time blocks. Oftentimes, like for the first 4 years of my daughter's life, I really only worked during her nap time. It just didn't make sense for me to be working from the office. It was either she was napping in the car in the back and I was working right here in the seat, or we were at home, she was napping upstairs and I was working in my office at home. So so honestly, I know some people really want to have an office to work from. If that's you, then maybe Real Broker isn't right for you. I have had this question a lot on calls with agents who are thinking about switching to Real. Like, what do I do if an agent wants to meet me at my physical office? If a seller wants to meet with me in person, we're gonna meet at their house, because that's just what you do. If a buyer wants to meet with me in person, I will meet at a local Starbucks. I don't think that's unprofessional. It's always worked well for me. I actually enjoy it because it kind of feels more like I'm like having coffee with a friend, and it just makes real estate more fun to me than meeting at a boring office building. I do know your title companies will allow you to use their office spaces if you want a more like professional look, but that's never bothered me. I used to do a lot of buyer presentations in person at my brick and mortar office. However, in 2020, when my office shut down for COVID, I started doing my buyer consultations over Zoom. And I really never stopped doing them over Zoom because it was just so convenient. Again, like being a mom, not having to leave my house to do these buyer consultation appointments. And even I've actually found that my buyers prefer it as well because it's more convenient for them also. With Keller Williams, you are associated with a big, well-known brand. And that's something that when you're with a brick and mortar brokerage, they're gonna really tell you often and like convince you, you need our brand behind you. Our brand is gonna help you get the listing. And that's something that my husband and I, when we switched to Real Broker, we were a little unsure about how that would work. We were so like sold on Real because it just didn't make any sense to stay at a brick and mortar brokerage. So we were like, we don't care, we're moving anyway. But that was something that in the back of our mind, we were like, honestly, this might hurt our business a little at first. We don't know, but I can confidently say not a single client has asked us about our real estate brokerage, noticed or cared that we were with Real Broker and not with the big brick and mortar brokerage that we were with before. So take that with a grain of salt. Maybe you still want that big franchise brand behind you because you just do, then that's fine. But that is a big difference between Keller Williams and Real Broker. Real Broker is the fastest growing real estate brokerage in the entire world currently. However, it's still not like as well known obviously as Keller Williams. One of the things that I love about being with Real Broker is that I can be a part owner in my company by owning stock in the company, which I very much do. And at Keller Williams, that is not an option that you have. Not only do they not give free stock to their agents for reaching milestones in your business you'd reach anyway, like Real Broker does, but you don't have that option to be a part owner in your brokerage by owning free stock because it is owned by Gary Keller, who is a billionaire. I apologize for being so biased. I feel like this video is so biased, but I can only share from my personal experience and my opinions, and like I can't tone it down because this is what I really think. So if I was to be unbiased, then I wouldn't be like telling the truth, like of how I actually feel. So I apologize. If you're looking for something a little less biased, this might not be the video for you. But to continue on, here's the next difference between Keller Williams and Real Broker. Real Broker has the latest technology in the entire real estate industry, and that is actually something that it's known for. I know when I was with a brick and mortar style brokerage, they will convince their agents that you have the best technology. Anytime something new rolls out in their brokerage, they're going to tell you this is the best of the best. You are so lucky to have this. You're so better than all the other agents at other brokerages because you have this technology. But when I left my brick and mortar brokerage, my big franchise, well-known brick and mortar brokerage, when I was there, I was convinced that I had the best technology. I would literally tell my buyers and sellers that, like, guys, you want to work with me because I have the best technology. But then when I switched brokerages to Real Broker, my mind was blown and my technology was nothing. Like literally nothing. It was like the 90s compared to nowadays. Like that is the drastic difference. My technology straight up sucked and I didn't even know it. I truly believed I had the best technology, guys. But Real Broker has the most innovative technology in the entire real estate industry. The AI that you have access to at Real Broker, the CRM system that, like, I'm not even going to go into it. I've done full videos on the technology. Go find it on my channel. But it blows my mind how I'm able to run my business now because of this technology. And the best part is it is user friendly and so simple. I am not a tech person. I am the person who, I am the gal who would walk into my brick and mortar office when I was a newer agent and just hand my laptop over to the tech guy at our brokerage and say, here, do this. Or here, show me how to do this. Like, I am not techie, but Real Broker technology is so simple, I could figure it out on my own. And I love that because while it is advanced, it's top notch, it's ahead of the curve, it helps make your business more streamlined because it's amazing. It's still simple and easy to use. The next thing we're gonna talk about in this comparison video is the fees. Okay, so I recently heard an agent chatting about how he switched over from Keller Williams to Real Broker, and he has saved $22,000 worth of fees over the last year because he switched to Real Broker from Keller Williams. Thank you guys for watching. Hit the thumbs up button if you liked this video. Hit the thumbs down button if you didn't. I'd love to hear your thoughts, your experiences with either Real Broker, Keller Williams, or whatever brokerage you're with in the comments below. If you have more questions about Real Broker, head over to my channel. I have an entire playlist talking all about it. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell because I come on here every week with new videos, and I will see you guys next time.